Hi everyone, welcome to our video series on lessons from lockdown. Today, lesson 6 is that we need to lead for a culture of conscious well-being. Now I know well-being has risen in prominence over the last few years, but if we're being honest, it was still seen as a bit fluffy or, one of those HR initiatives. Last year, People Management reported on research from Harvard Medical School into company wellbeing programs that concluded that bolt-on initiatives are unlikely to return significant results. So it's clear that a sun salutation is not going to fix a toxic business culture. And yet, during lockdown, our understanding of and the importance that we place on well-being has deepened. We always knew that physical activity was a part of well-being, and we've seen great examples of this in lockdown with a huge increase in running and online sports. In addition, over the last few years, we have seen an increase in the public debate around mental health, and this was a much needed increase in that public debate. There's been a huge uptake of apps such as the Calm app and initiatives such as Head Start. But our time in lockdown has reminded us all of the value of connectivity, and it's heightened our awareness of the challenge of isolation. Alongside this, we've become more comfortable with publicly expressing the need to invest in ourselves and take time out for me. Well-being is now at the forefront of the public conversation. And as we now know that those with an underlying health condition or are obese are more likely to die as a result of COVID-19, the impetus for well-being is unlikely to go away. And as we return to our places of work, that we'll find an increased focus on safety. We will find an increased focus on well-being. It's no longer something that someone else deals with. Our employers, as leaders, it's something that we have to consider and have to think about. From a safety perspective, we're talking social distancing, temperature checks, sanitation stations and flexible working. All of these things are going to form part of the overall well-being picture. And alongside this, the societal consciousness around well-being has shifted significantly. It's shifted up a gear, and our expectations in relation to what employers are going to offer have increased dramatically. Our clients are telling us that they are looking at well-being as a central part of their employee value proposition going forward. It's not just something which is left to the sidelines anymore. It's pivotal and it's central. So really, if you're not thinking about well-being, you're not thinking holistically enough about the next normal, about the future. The well-being of our employees is an expectation, but it's also something that we can learn from the experience of lockdown, because in lockdown, people have had to look after their own well-being, and they've done it brilliantly. And we have seen many clients of ours really stepping up and supporting their people through urgently put together and seriously well thought through initiatives around well-being that have improved the overall culture of the business, as well as improving people's health. So the lesson really is that we need to focus and understand how to lead for a culture of well-being. We need to recognize that a significant increase in the expectation and consciousness of employees is now geared towards their own well-being and the well-being of others in the organization. And if we don't rise to that challenge, ultimately we will be hurt in the recruitment market as we renew the organization and move forward. So my question to you is this: how will you, as a leader or as a member of a team, consciously lead for a culture of well-being in your organization? Sounds easy to ask, a lot harder to answer, I suspect. Feel free to get in touch if you'd like to explore that further. Download the white paper, which you'll find a link to in the description. You'll also find all the previous videos, links to the previous videos there. There's one more video in this series, which I'll be sharing tomorrow. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You'll also find me. You can link in with me on LinkedIn. Great to talk to you, and look forward to sharing another video with you tomorrow. Take care.